in the end, Mahomes and that offensive juggernaut that Kansas City has, okay, to me, will be enough to do it. So I'm going to go Kansas City, Green Bay as your Super Bowl matchup.
And we know we're talking football, so we have some unfortunate news that we have to break earlier. Oh, you don't want to break it? No? George Pearl's great defensive mind for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. Recently, George Perlis passed away. So, unfortunately, our thoughts and prayers go out to George Perlis. So, but, again, there's a very busy sports weekend lined up and obviously centered around football.
Yeah, but this is going to be a very exciting weekend for football, though. I mean, I feel like there's just so many storylines that you can follow as a fan that you can't really not be excited. I mean, like, who wouldn't love? I'm sure your wife, Candy, would love to see Aaron Rodgers in another Super Bowl again. I mean, I'm sure you guys will be glued to the TV for that if that were to happen, and I'm sure you guys will be watching at your favorite establishment this weekend.
Yeah, home.
No, you're not going to Duffy's this weekend?
No, actually I'm not. I figure I don't need to do that. I'm kind of looking forward to having a little bit of downtime since I've been on the road a lot the last several weeks.
And the body definitely needs that.
Well, it's starting to get better. I just figure it's time for me to relax a little bit the next 2 or 3 weeks. Just to give people an idea what my schedule will be like. We'll be working with spring training coming up. Obviously, my responsibilities here at the network and then the publication are certainly paramount. Do a lot of networking to try to get the word out so we can build a brand. So I'm looking forward to having a little downtime, and I'm looking forward to covering the 12 Hours of Sebring up in Sebring, Florida, which happens to be an endurance race weekend. So that's a very good event there. So I'll have plenty. I'm looking forward to having a little bit of downtime, and know when to pick it up. Our plans are to go to Arizona to cover spring training as well. So
yeah, and what I think a nice narrative that'll be fleshed out of this if Kansas City were to win is that of Andy Reid. Andy Reid, you've attested to it before, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think he's one of the better coaches in the NFL who doesn't get enough respect because a lot of the guys that he's worked with have gone on to win Super Bowls, and he's kind of been that guy who hasn't. So to see him, if he were to win and get there, would be a welcome surprise. You want to add something on that?
But you bring up an interesting point, though, okay? I remember when Marty Schottenheimer coached the Kansas City Chiefs, and he had a good run there but never got to a Super Bowl, and he was not able to retain his job. Reid has a little bit more clout. I think they like him there anyways. But, sometimes Reid's been to one Super Bowl, and it happened to be the one I was actually at with the Eagles against the Patriots, only for the Patriots to come away on top. So
yeah, that was 2004, I believe.
Yeah, right. It was, but that was a good, and Terrell Owens, for whatever I can't detest the guy because of his rebel with a cause personality where he feels like a little short-sightedness. He don't want to deal with the world. That's his problem. But he came back from a gruesome injury to play in that football game, and with Donovan McNabb, that was a pretty good game to watch. But,
and you have a poster of that Patriots team right here up in your wall in your office I'm looking at right now, so nice to reflect on that as we talk about that.
Yeah, it was definitely a great moment for sure. So, but, again, right now we're doing really well. We've been able to talk about different things, and obviously we got another 30 minutes or so to go on the broadcast. But why don't we go ahead and let people know what's up ahead for us. So one of the shows that I'm really excited about building is 108 Stitches Baseball Talk.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be, that's
I've got shows lined up the next few weeks, and when I get done with that show there, then you know what? To me, it will be one of the many good ones that we have. Our goal is to diversify the taste of our listeners out there, and as a result, by doing such a thing, then it's a very positive experience where we have different genres.
A diverse profile of subjects that we discuss on here allows for a diverse palette of people to listen, and that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to get more people engaged. And how can they get engaged with us, Scott? You want to let them know where they can find us on Twitter?
Yeah, at Tribune South.
Yeah, and you can follow me on Twitter as well at @Adio_Lewis00. Scott, you want to leave your Twitter handle as well for everybody to know?
Yeah, well, I have a personal one at Scoop and then SCOOP and 33333. Count 5 on your hands and then you got Scoop. But the Tribune South obviously is one we're certainly trying to build a brand here. And you know what? As we go into our second full year doing this, I expect the strides to be made considerably greater. I'm going to be adding more and more guests to the equation. And that's the nicest part about trying to make sure that we can cover all sports. Some of them will be covered more extensively than others. Not going to get into that night. It's really immaterial. But our goal is to not only have some established guests on here, but to also make sure we develop a lot of young potential broadcasters and writers so that they can have a basis to build their careers around, knowing that we gave them that opportunity. Because I'm going to tell you, like anything else, okay, that those opportunities are what they are.
Few and far between, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So, what I want you to do is I want you to let everybody know what you did get done before Jake Ronholt comes on the program today. You have a very good interview.
Yeah,
so.
I'll preview a piece that I have coming out next week for the South Florida Tribune. I was able to sit down with head coach John McCormick today for a one-on-one interview via the phone, and it was a very good interview. We discussed a lot of topics that I'll discuss in my interview. And the piece that I'm writing for the Tribune, it'll be up sometime next week around Tuesday. Scott will have that, of course, linked on Twitter once it's posted.
Right.
Everybody can give it a read. I also did an interview with Dusty May earlier as well, trying to establish some rapport with some of the FAU coaching staff. We have our relationship with Lane Kiffin when we covered those 4 FAU games earlier this year. So we're trying to, we're building relationships with universities, and they're sending us content. So the best thing that we can do is further promote them. There's no harm, no foul. In fact, we're benefiting each other. So.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, some of the prominent universities that we feature here as Lynn University, a small private school here in Boca Raton that nobody realizes, but they're a top-notch Division II school. FAU, of course, is our main school. And then we have at Florida International University out of Miami that contributes a little bit. And they're welcome. And, of course, at my alma mater, University of South Florida. Another one that I've really taken to a lot lately, though, and I like doing this when we come across, because, again, while we're a local publication, we certainly like to bring in news from around the country when the situation permits itself. But one that I've really been fascinated, and I'm really glad that we had landed, was the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and all of that was attributed to the Conference USA
the title
game. So, and they're more than willing to send material. And I got news for you. We'll take a lot of pride in UAB. They're willing to, it's all about when you're dealing with youth athletes anyways, you want to more or less promote their accomplishments is what you want to do.
I mean, it's shine a light on guys who normally don't get a shine. Conference USA actually boasts some pretty competitive football, and obviously it's not in the echelon of LSU and Alabama and Clemson, but you still have very competitive players out there and that are playing very good football and, could get opportunities in the NFL. We saw some great players. Harrison Bryant, the tight end for Florida Atlantic, senior tight end, was great.
Right.
I mean, Florida Atlantic baseball doesn't get enough respect if you want to talk.
No, it really does not.
And I'll tell you this, 6 conference championships since John McCormick's been the head coach over there. So a testament to him. Also, 5 players drafted in Major League Draft.
Well, I'll tell you
what,
I'll take it a step further. Before John took over the helm, Kevin Cooney did an outstanding job for Florida Atlantic University. So it goes deeper than John McCormack. John's a heck of a coach, and he's been able to win despite the fact that FAU Stadium is not really what I consider a very good field. And he told me that he definitely needs upgraded facilities, and I think that the administration needs to really take FAU baseball and really go out there and, give it a much better facility, because you know what? They do go ahead and field a very good program. Going back to Kevin Cooney, that was one of the things that Kevin told me, that he went ahead and fought with it mentally himself, that he wishes he had better facilities. But John was an internal candidate who's obviously dedicated to the program. His wife, Katrina McCormick, is the sports information director there. I've been working with Katrina for a long time, and can't ask for a much nicer group of people there.
She does a great job.
And, of course, I've been working with Justin Johnson for a while. Everything I've needed, he's been there. And, of course, you've been dealing with Jonathan Frazier. They're all around. The FAU people are very good people all the way around.
Very good. And if you guys want to purchase tickets for their baseball team, we want to promote them as much as possible. Just another piece in part thanks to McCormick for giving me some time today. You can purchase their tickets online. Just go to FAU Athletics website. Their season tickets are only $65. Why not? Why would you not want to see one of the best teams, honestly, in college baseball right now? They won a conference record 22 games in their division play.
Well, so tell everybody when their regular season starts.
I believe it starts in early February. We didn't discuss an exact date, but the season the team has already gathered together. They're getting ready. But one thing, and when I spoke to McCormick this morning, he emphasized the importance of Cooney and his development, because McCormick's actually been with FAU since 1990, and Cooney was the head coach there from 91 through the 2007-2008 season. So So he has a very good relationship with him, and we discuss a lot about influences in life and how influential Cooney was in promoting the style in which McCormick and his staff do their thing. And I really think everybody's going to like the piece I'm going to put out there. I'm going to put a lot of effort to make sure it's the best thing possible. And again, thank you to John McCormick and the staff at FAU for giving us their time and, giving us good things to talk about over the Tribune. It's always good when you can promote something or somebody that's doing something good in their community, and I think John McCormick and co. are definitely doing that.
Well, yeah, and like I said, that's a very good program. So our final guest of the night is Jake Rongholt. Jake Rongholt's our final guest. He's one of our own. He is a regular contributor here on the Sports Exchange as well, and he'll be featured on other broadcasts as well. So, Jake, welcome back to the Sports Exchange. Glad to have you back.
Happy Thursday, Scott. It's great to be here. A couple more days till the championship games.
That's right. So,
can't wait for it.
All right. Well, you know what? When I looked at some of the things you wanted to talk about, we're going to lead off with the championship games. Give us your takes because you're going to be giving a prediction on them.
Well, I think we're going to have two close games. I mean, I'm going to go just down the line here of just the reason why this team can win here. So we'll start off with the Chiefs and the Titans. Look, the Chiefs are 1-5 in their last 6 playoff games underneath Andy Reid, and this is a great opportunity for them to rise to the occasion. Now, look, the only thing they have to worry about is Derrick Henry. Once they can be able to limit Derrick Henry enough to the point where Ryan Tannehill has to try and win the game for them is when the Titans are going to slip on the banana peel. I do believe that the Titans do have a great opportunity to win this game, but in order for the Chiefs to win, they got to get Patrick Mahomes started off early. They got to get up to like a 14-0 lead right out the gate and just force the Titans to play catch-up. One thing about this team is they can't catch up. They have only scored 14 points against New England. They scored 28 against the Ravens because they forced them to make every mistake. The Chiefs have so much weaponry. Like Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce coming off a 3-touchdown performance. And that is one thing that the Titans are going to be truly tested on is trying to stop that big tight end out of Cincinnati with Travis Kelce. Another thing, they got a solid running game. Now, the way that the Titans can win this game is if they get after this defense early on. Run the rock with Derrick Henry. He averages 6.5 yards per carry. He has had over 315 yards together so far in this playoffs. Not to mention that they do have good wideouts with A.J. Brown. And one of the biggest weaknesses to the Chiefs' defense is their secondary. They are not able to play good man-to-man coverage. When they do, they get called for pass interference or illegal contact. So if the Titans can get up early on this team, keep running the rock on them. Because even though Patrick Mahomes will make it, like a 2-touchdown game or something like that, every time the Chiefs feel like they're going to play catch-up, the Titans have to play some Chiefs ball, run the rock down their throats, or get Ryan Tannehill to throw a deep pass. So that's how the Titans can win that one. Out of this, though, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in a close one. I do believe it's going to come down to Patrick Mahomes doing kind of a Brett Favre kind of style, fourth quarter comeback. And I think that they're going to win this game 27-20.
Okay, interesting. All right, good. Next game.
All right, next game. Let's go to the Seahawks and the. Wow.
That's
that
all
was
right.
last week.
That's all right. That's wishful thinking for the people in Starbucks country, but that's all right.
Oh, yeah.
I think I was a delusional there, but that's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to rub it in a little bit to Seahawks fans.
Well, you did exactly that. Sleepless in Seattle is one of my favorite movies, and I don't watch a lot of movies, man. When people ask me about movies, I'm usually in the dark about it, but I know that one. I'm sleepless all the time with my sleeping habits, but I'm sorry to take off course. You left me wide open for that.
Oh, no, I understand that. Well, it feels like right now the movie Gladiator right now with the Packers and the 49ers. I'm just trying to wonder which one is actually Maximus. Is it Jimmy Garoppolo or is it Aaron Rodgers? This is going to be a great football game. One thing is I got to mention, though, right out the gate here is that, look, Steve Young brought up a great point with this. The Packers are not going to be able to win the football game just by playing the same old Packers-style game plan that they have been doing. They have to try and beat the 49ers at their own game. So here's how the Packers can win it. Get out to a 7